I'm Marissa, Sabbatical Beauty Ambassador, and today for She's a Sabbatical Beauty, I'm interviewing Kari.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Kari. Can you tell us a little about yourself, please?
Sure. So I'm Kari Getz. I'm an OG Sabbatical Beauty. I've been using Sabbatical Beauty for a little over 2 years now, and I come from Tampa, Florida. So I have all the heat and humidity and all of those challenges. I am the director of marketing for the Tampa International Airport. That's my day job. And at night, I am an actor, performer, and my academia street cred from the Sabbatical Beauty set is that I teach an MBA course at the University of South Florida and also at Wayne State in Detroit called Improvisation in Business. And it takes the concepts of improvisational comedy, the game theory, and it overlays it on business theory. So that's what I do.
And what do you like to do for your downtime?
My downtime are my passions. So that's what I do more than anything. There's an awesome academic who is sometimes in the Sabbatical Beauty group, who's a longtime friend of mine, Dr. Zappé, and she coined a phrase that I love. It's called the Wendy effect. And the Wendy effect is that Wendy left Neverland and became a grown-up, but she always knew how to get back to Neverland. And so people who have a side hustle or a passion, that's their Wendy. So my Wendy, what I do when my downtime are the things that I really love, like getting on stage, directing, doing improv, teaching. Like my downtime is the time that I get to do the things that I love. Not that I don't love my job. It's a cool job, but it's not really my passion.
Right. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that, the Wendy effect. It's really cool.
The Wendy effect. Like when she writes her book, it's going to be amazing.
All right, so let's get into it. Can you tell me about how you felt about your skin before you tried SB and how you felt about the products you were using?
I didn't really have a beauty treatment. I didn't do nice things for my face. I was like soap and water girl and didn't think anything about it. And I read an article about Korean skincare and like this multi-step thing. And I don't know how a girl who went from like, I just use soap and water to like, oh, 15 steps. That's awesome. But I started searching around and I found the Slate article. So I'm one of the original Slate article people that read this amazing story about this incredible woman who was doing this cool thing. And so I was like, well, yeah, if I'm going to try this Korean beauty concept and I get to support a small business, then that's the route I'll go. And so I emailed and I was like, hey, I read about you in Slate and it says you do free consultations. So my first kit was, I'm trying to think, foaming rose cleanser, APH marine, and I think a Camilla rose mask. And within like a week, I was hooked. Like that was it within a week. And so then it was just like every time, and this was like 2.5 years ago, it wasn't that long ago, but this is like whenever a product would only come out for like a couple months. And when it was gone, it was gone. So anytime something came out, I just bought it. And I was like, I don't know, I'll try it. I'll see what happens. And so, yeah, I was hooked and that started it. And I like truly immediately, like within a week, I couldn't believe how much my skin had changed.
Those are some good products to start off with.
Yes. Yeah. I always tell people when like because I've gotten a lot of people hooked on this and I always give them almost the exact same, like I might tweak it a little bit, but I'm like, you can't go wrong with those. Like those are the powerhouse. I mean, pun intended, but those are really the workhorses, I guess, of Sabbatical Beauty.
Yeah. Rose Foaming Cleanser is still my favorite cleanser out of all of them to this day.
I know it is. It's the best. Although I think the goat milk cleanser,
that's my
I've
second.
always been a fan of. Oh yeah, horchata face is like my favorite. Like every time I get it, every time I wash my face, I always remember thread from like forever ago that was like horchata face. Horchata face.
Yep.
I love that
Yep.
stuff.
No, so goat milk and rice is my AM cleanser, and the rose is my PM cleanser.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So
I switch it up. Like I'll use up like whatever it is, and I'll like order something new just like to be different.
Yeah.
So I don't always like rotate. I'll just use a whole bottle and then get a new bottle of something else.
Yeah. move these out of the way and go to the next question. And what were your biggest fears and struggles about trying new skincare?
You know, I don't really get too bent out of shape about trying stuff. I know that sounds crazy, but like I'm a natural blonde. So things don't, you know, like beauty stuff, it doesn't scare me. Like I went red because I thought it would be interesting. And if I didn't like it, I would change it. And I think I had the same attitude towards skincare. It's like, I'll give it a shot. If I don't like it, it's no harm, no foul. So I tend to be, I tend to be pretty experimental. So I didn't really have any fear. I was mostly just excited. And I was super excited because the business model fascinated me so much.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
the small business, you know, the academic leaving everything. That was still the days of high drama. We were all waiting to see, was she going to go back after her sabbatical? Was she going to turn in resignation? What was going to happen? Was it still going to be the side hustle? You know, there was a lot of intrigue around whether or not the business model was going to sustain or grow. And so it's been really exciting, I think, watching that process, watching her grow, watching her become like just the unmitigated, you know, badass boss lady.
Yeah, it is very exciting. And the fact that we actually get to engage with her, with Adeline, that's something that you don't get from a lot of other brands. So
no, and she is, I mean, Adeline is Sabbatical Beauty. Sabbatical Beauty is Adeline. And I think that to watch, particularly to watch her creative process in the very beginning. I mean, she's still very open about it, but it's almost like she crowdsources. And I think that that's a remarkable way to develop. I mean, marketing is my day job. And I think it's fascinating to watch her model. I mean, she literally throws out an idea and says, does this stick? And then gets all the feedback and really develops and builds off of that. She's crowdsourcing an artisanal project. I don't think anybody else is doing that.
Yeah.
So
Adeline's kind of really smart that way.
She's kind of like the smartest person I know.
Yeah. Don't tell her that though. Don't want her to. Just kidding.
Oh, she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
And how did you discover Sabbatical Beauty?
Hi. I'm a Slate girl. I'm the OG Slate girl. I found it from the Slate article and reached out to her from that. So, hi. How are you? Yeah. So I'm Slate. That's how I discovered her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what made you finally decide to go and buy the products?
You know, I did not think about it. I saw the article. I saw her website. I was super impressed by the website. I reached out to her because this was back, you got the free consultation. And so I just reached out. I said, hey, I'm hitting 40. These are my challenges. I live in a swamp. I have fine lines and wrinkles. And she came back and said, this is what I recommend. And I was like, great. And I put it in my cart and I bought it. So it really was
easy peasy.
It really is not. Yeah, it's really not.
I live in a swamp.
I live in a swamp.
Only imagine.
Yeah.
I actually lived in Florida for not even a whole year, but
what part of the swamp did you live in?
I lived in West Palm Beach.
Okay, East Coast.
Yep. But my dad actually lived in Sarasota.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Tampa. And then I grew up in Fort Myers. So really like dead in the center of the two.
Yep. Okay. What results did you hope to see with Sabbatical Beauty, and did you achieve those results?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, like I had no beauty. I washed my face with soap. I mean, it was like me and Ivory. We were close. Yeah, I couldn't believe how much I kind of always assumed because I live in a swamp, and I think people will find this interesting. I use some pretty heavy moisturizers for Sabbatical Beauty, and I'm always telling people I don't have particularly dry skin. My skin is for the most part pretty normal, but I've used sleeping packs in the middle of August, and I don't think that they're too heavy. So I think the one thing that I've been surprised by is how much my skin needed moisture, which I didn't think that because I'm sweating all the time. The humidity here is 300%. And I just thought to myself, oh, my skin gets more than enough moisture. I don't need to keep adding. I'll get greasy. My skin will get oily. And it didn't. It absolutely, I got a much nicer glow and much more evenness in my skin when I started adding a moisturizer. So.
It's not about you right now. It's about Kari right now.
Hi.
And now that you've integrated SB into your routine, how do you feel about your skin?
Oh, I mean, I love it. And I think one of the things that's been the most rewarding is how many other women I've been able to, like, you know, to invite into, I say cult in the nicest, most positive way. There's just a lot of my friends now that are part of Sabbatical Beauty and seeing their skin and seeing how much their skin has improved, and certainly mine. I mean, I'm 43 and I don't think my skin looks 43, and I think that's Sabbatical Beauty. So yeah, and it didn't used to look like this. I used to have a lot more unevenness. I used to have my fine lines and wrinkles, I think, were starting to show a little bit more. I mean, I started doing this when I was 40 because I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, oh yeah, girl, you know, it's cool looking older. It's cool because it means you've done stuff and you've experienced life. And then some days you're like, no, but I would really rather look like I haven't.
Right?
Yeah, I'd rather look like I haven't.
Amazing for 43. I wouldn't have guessed. I thought maybe early 30s, maybe around the same age as me. So, and you look amazing as a redhead. I can't even picture you blonde.
Oh yeah, super blonde, and my hair is naturally curly. So honestly, today, like, I got a blowout today. I got my hair done today, so I am freshly red. And he blew it out, and I feel so good because I feel like I'm having my Julianne Moore moment, which I just love. But my hair is like super, super curly, and I always wear it curly because I don't have the patience to do this. But yeah, I went red about the same time I started Sabbatical Beauty, actually. That's really funny. I don't think I've ever was blonde with Sabbatical Beauty. But I started, and it was because I was doing a part. I was in a show, and the character had to be a redhead. And I loved it so much that I just kept it. And so I've been multiple shades of red. I've gone like really bright red, like fire engine red. And I've been like a darker red, but this is where I'm sticking right now. And it's fun. I don't think I'll ever go back to blonde.
It complements your skin tone so well. So
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I lost my place here. Here we go. Talk to us about our community. How do you feel about our group? What has it done for you? And gives you all the feels and all that.
It always gives me all the feels. One of the things I think is interesting is I've been watching it. I'm much more of a lurker than I used to be, which is probably bad. I used to be a lot more engaged. But I think this is the ebb and flow of social communities. I think this is an important thing to kind of look at, is that you have people that are really, really engaged, and then maybe they pull back for a little bit and then they re-engage, and it's fun to watch new voices start to take floor and start to have, as time has gone on, what I appreciate most is how much the community is taking a lot of things that aren't necessarily beauty related, but certainly things about our lives, and we're sharing, and we're looking for guidance, we're looking for advice, we're looking for support, and that's super, super meaningful. And I've enjoyed watching, I've enjoyed being part of the parties. I do have to give a plug though. There's one thing that Sabbatical Beauty doesn't do anymore that I really miss. I was part of the book clubs, and I love the book clubs. Bring back the book club.
I wasn't around for the book clubs.
You weren't around for the book. Yes, the book clubs were awesome. I think we had 2 or 3 book clubs, and I do miss the book club.
I wish I had time to read. I have stacks and stacks of books. I keep buying books, but I don't have time to read them. So, you know, my husband's just like, so are these like decoration? Are you going to build a clubhouse? What are you doing with these?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're doing.
And
oh, that little laugh.
You just want to say something, don't you? All right, say something. See, now that I'm letting you say something, you won't say anything. Okay. So if you were a Sabbatical Beauty product, which one would you be?
Okay, so I did give this one some thought. You kind of did tell me what. I thought about this for a while, and I'm going to go with blush.
Blush.
I'm going to go with blush, which I know, you see, blush is, and much like my contributions in the Sabbatical Beauty community, blush comes and goes. blush comes and goes. Blush comes and it's the new hotness, and then kind of fades away, and then blush comes back. So yes, I align myself a little bit with blush. I remember when she first introduced it, and it's just so beautiful. It's just one of those, just buy it and put it on your bathroom sink. It's beautiful. You know, just stare at it. It's gorgeous. It is such a pretty product, and it's also, you know, a beautiful product, and it smells nice, and yeah, and it comes and goes. So that was what I picked.
Well, you are very pretty too, and I'm sure you smell nice as well.
Nope, got a fender bender today. Do not smell nice at all. But you know what the nice thing is? Y'all don't know that.
One day there will be smell-o-vision, and we're all going to regret it.
And we would have postponed this. Oh, trust me, we would have postponed this if that's been the case.
Awesome. So we talked a little bit about this during our first take.
Yes.
Do you have a special talent you want to share with us?
Okay, so I am an improviser. This is my passion. This is my fun thing. And I teach improv games, and I use improv games to help people find their center, find their roles as leaders, learn how to work in cooperation with each other, active listening, being more fun. And so I was trying to think of a fun game that I could teach you that you and I could play together.
Okay.
And so here's the game. You and I are going to have a conversation, and each one of the first letter of the first word of each of our sentences has to follow the alphabet. So we're going to have a conversation, right? So you would start, and your first letter has to start with A. My response has to start with B, C, D, back and forth. Okay?
Okay.
And we'll only talk about Sabbatical Beauty.
Okay. All right. So I start.
So yeah, if you want to start, or I can start, either way. We'll start with A.
Okay, you start.
Okay. Asian Powerhouse is the best serum, is it not?
I'm so stuck right now.
Blush.
Blush is the prettiest facial oil I've ever seen.
Can't agree with you more. You're absolutely right. I like blush. I like blush better.
Dude, I gotta totally agree with you.
Everything that Sabbatical Beauty makes is the best thing ever.
For real though.
Well done, Mommy. I'll get you out.
Great. You got the idea. Yes, good. We're doing awesome.
This is a really good game.
Right? And it's a really fun game to play with kids.
Yeah.
When you're starting them to be aware of phonics. So, I mean, adults play it. When you're playing with improvisers, you get them all screwed up because you start in the middle of the alphabet. So you'll be like, yeah, start with the letter O and go for it. But I love to play it with little kids because it forces them to think about phonics. It forces them to think about letters and follow the alphabet.
And it forces them to listen.
There you go. You're an improviser.
Right. It forces them to listen and to pay attention too, which they really need help with.
All of them. You're an improviser now. I taught you how to be an improviser. You can be on Whose Line Is It Anyway.
Awesome. My next goal is to become a freestyle rapper.
Yes, we all need goals.
All right. Well, I want to thank you again for your time. I know you've had a rough day. It's been hectic. Blame it on retrograde. But if you are catching the replay, please leave any questions for Kari or I, and we'll answer them as we see them. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. I will be interviewing lots more of USVs because we are all special and unique in our own little ways. And
Mommy.
Kitty will probably be here to interrupt my videos because that's what she likes to do.
Mommy.
You want to say goodbye to everybody?
You say bye?
Okay, say something.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
No,
Time to go.
I want to